Hey, my friends, I just want to apologize in advance for the audio. I know some of you hear this annoying popping noise. I'm currently troubleshooting the situation. I have this in the beginning and the end of the video. It will be fixed as soon as possible. Thank you all very much. Hurricane Laura, the strongest hurricane to ever hit western Louisiana, still has remnants floating across the United States, may turn into a tropical storm. Welcome back, my friends. It is August 30th, 2020, 2:42 p.m., and we are almost in September. Take a look at this chart I have right here. We are just now entering the peak of hurricane season. If you take a look at the top of this chart, it basically starts on September 10th, right in the middle of that second week of September, and then we basically go down to where we are right about now, which is August 30th. So we're about 10 days away from the official peak of hurricane season. And if you guys remember seasons like 2005 and 2017, once we get that first major hurricane, they can just come back to back to back to back. And we are starting to see that in the Atlantic Ocean. We've been seeing it all season long with this record-breaking year we've been having. In fact, if you go to the Atlantic Hurricane Season 2020 Wikipedia page, they actually added a section that shows the names we've used this year compared to when that name was used in previous seasons at the earliest time. So you can see all the records we have broken, Cristobal being the first earliest sea ever. The one earliest before that was in June 5th of 2016. So you could basically go down the list and see that every one of these storms basically broke a record in its own right. And peak hurricane season is certainly showing its face in our invest charts. We could see right here with disturbance number 2, 70% chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days. That is 60% in the next 48 hours. These are remnants of Laura actually still coming off the United States by Georgia and South Carolina, expected to come right off the coast of Florida and then possibly swirl up into a tropical storm. Some of the charts I have pulled up here I will show you in a second. They actually show this storm coming up and maybe affecting areas like eastern Long Island and Rhode Island and things like that up in the northeast coast. This second invest here, which is actually disturbance number 1, so just to clear that up, we have number 1, number 2, number 3, still on the coast of Western Africa, and then number 4, which looks to be just west of the Cape Verde Islands off the west coast of Africa. So we have 4 invests we're potentially watching. One may become a tropical storm fairly soon. The other has a different idea going on the different charts, which I will show you again. But nonetheless, 4 of these going on at the same time in the busy Atlantic Ocean. For those of you wondering what the difference is between this chart here and this one here, is this one shows the possible formation within a 5-day period as well as 2-day. You can see in the bottom of that box, formation chance through 48 hours is 60%, and then the formation chance through 5 days is 70%, and that is why you see the 70% at the top title on this box rather than the 60%. On this chart here, you see the 2-day disturbance. So this is the 48-hour chart, and then this one is the 5-day plus the 48-hour chart. Nonetheless, all 4 of these invests showing on both charts, showing the peak of hurricane season. Some interesting yet not so good facts about Hurricane Laura, historical Hurricane Laura. Will go down in history as a fairly deadly hurricane with 53 deaths being reported due to this storm and over $8 billion in damage, and that's still being counted clearly as a lot of people still have not even gotten power back or running water since the end of this storm, which is very, very unfortunate. The best thing we can do right now is just to keep people informed on what to expect in the coming weeks as we do enter the official peak hurricane season, all starting with this major Hurricane Laura. Article after article coming out every hour about the heartache and the loss and the horrible things that came with a storm such as Laura. We see it all too often, and we're going to see it again, which is unfortunate, but the best thing we can do is keep everybody informed, and that's what we're doing here today with these invests in the ocean, all of which have the potential to become hurricanes or cyclones, very dangerous storms. It is that time of year, and it was predicted to be a busy year, and it's certainly living up to the hype of that. Finally, going through the different models, we have the GFS pulled up, then I will show you the Canadian model and the European, as well as the NavGem, the Navy model. The GFS, all basically in agreement. All these models are in agreement that we may be seeing the possibility of a tropical storm or tropical depression coming off the coast of Florida or Georgia. As I move the cursor forward through the 30th, we were always set on August 30th here on all of these. That's actually September 1st, so I will go back to the 30th. That's where we're going to move from because that is today's date. So as I move forward, you can see the beginning of that storm coming off the southeast of the United States right here. And as it enters the Atlantic Ocean, wants to get that counterclockwise spin back and actually registers some lower pressures as 1013 here. We got 1013 millibars, and as we move forward, we can just see the signature of that storm moving out into the Atlantic. Small chances of it being a threat to the U.S. unless it somehow hooks up closer to. We got Long Island here, New Jersey, and then obviously Rhode Island, Connecticut, and states like that up in the Northeast. Switching over to the Canadian model, very, very similar outcome here as we move forward from the 30th. This is the 31st, and basically overnight from the 31st into the 1st is when they're expecting this to pop out into the Atlantic and start making its way up towards the Northeast, possibly clipping the Outer Banks. We just got to keep an eye on this to see how low the pressure gets. 1011 here, a little bit lower than the GFS, and then where it wants to track after that, whether it hugs up a little closer to the coast or not. So the first order of business here will be to watch the Outer Banks and to see how strong this storm gets. Here is the European version. We are set for the 28th, so obviously that was 2 days ago. We'll move forward to the 30th. We got that today. You can see the low pressure coming off the far northeast. And as we move forward, there is the possibility that tropical storm coming off a little closer to the Carolinas and the Outer Banks and then making its way straight out to the Atlantic. So the European model showing the least of the worst that we could see with this possible tropical storm. We don't even know yet if it's going to be one, but it's there for you to see. Here is the NavGem model. And you'll see here on this model that we have basically a South Carolina area where this storm is going to pop out of and then possibly continue that rotation. As you can see right about there, it pops right out. And you'll see here on this model that we have basically a South Carolina area where this storm is going to pop out of and then possibly continue that rotation. As you can see right about there, it pops right out and then makes its way right towards the Outer Banks. And let's follow it up the northeast and kind of tracks out a little sooner than the other models. So a little bit more to look out for this storm, to see it coming out of the southeast here of the United States. Definitely part of Laura, which we can see right here, just wants to keep on giving on this hurricane season. Thank you all very much for tuning in today. I want to apologize for the very annoying popping that you probably hear in my microphone. I've been troubleshooting it for the last couple weeks, and it turns out it may be the software I'm using to edit videos. I've tried different headsets, and the audio comes out pretty clear as in the original recording, but then when I enter it into the editing software, it begins to pop like that. So I'm currently working on that, and I apologize, and I know it's annoying. Other than that, if you do enjoy this content and the videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Every little bit helps the channel, and I appreciate every one of you guys. We will continue putting out updates about the tropics and the Atlantic Ocean and anything else weather-wise that's going on around the world. Thank you all so much. I appreciate your time. Shout out to Canada, and shout out especially to Ontario. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.